What's up, everyone? Bradley Jack Design here again with another lovely stream for you this Sunday afternoon. I think everything's working, which is great. We'll see if chat works, but that's always a toss-up. But I think things are working pretty solid, so we'll see what happens. I wanted to do a co-editing live thing today, but we tested it a little bit and it seemed a little bit glitchy. It's in the early stages, so instead today what I've got queued up is a Shai, Gilgeous-Alexander, Shai graphic. Let me pull up. I cut out 2 images for this. We'll figure out what we want to do with them. I just thought this front image was really great. This one here. So maybe we do something with one graphic or one single image or a couple images. We'll figure it out from there. But let me just hide some of this stuff. What's up, Kevo? So I didn't pull any inspiration for this yet, but I have a general idea of what I kind of want to do. So I want it to be all-star related. I'm gonna pull Pinterest up here just so we've got that because I like using that. I need the Thunder logo, Hunter logo, Thunder logo. So I think I might have this somewhere. Oh gosh, let me just do NBA. So here's the Thunder's website. Fun fact. Theoretically, I can just drag this to my desktop and it's an SVG file, so we're going to do that. Does Dan win the game? No, he's not on the top fold, so that's good. What's up, Jesse? Thanks for hopping in. Let's scroll down just a little bit. We like to play a game in Design with Dan's Discord where basically we load up Pinterest and see if there's anything on here that we made. But there's a lot more saturation with sports design. It used to be really easy to win the game if you just posted often. But now there's a lot more stuff. So let me hit refresh one more time. We'll just see what happens. Just for fun, I can pull this logo in. There's too many ads on here. Now I will say USC, he did sort of touch that with 0G, but no, there's too many people doing sports design, which is a good thing. Let me hop back over here to Photoshop. Let me just drag this logo in here. Boom. So we got the Thunder logo. NBA All-Star. I want the All-Star logo if I can get that, but it's really just says All-Star. Yeah, USC and Chargers being within half a scroll is kind of winning. I guess I just want the NBA logo. We'll drag that to my desktop because that's an SVG file. Thank God for SVG files. Used to be a lot harder to find the logos, but now they're just like, oh, here's an SVG on a website, which is great. I want to queue up the Thunder's colors. Thunder, colors, hex code, and then that should give me the Thunder. Great. So my main idea was do something all-star related, but see if we can add in, let me pull this over here so we can see it. Add in some stuff pertaining to the Thunder. So like, let me learn how to alt tab here real quick, or command tab, go back here. Okay, there we go. I could probably just steal these colors from this logo too, which I didn't do, because here's the yellow underneath an add, because of course. And we're just queuing these up to have them. Okay, so we're gonna hide these here. They're all right here. Could have just done that, would have been easier. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, why OKC Thunder name? Because it was like the Thundering Herd. Comes from the state location in Tornado Alley in the 45th Interfees Division, nicknamed the Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds. But they do something with like Rumble the Bison. So like the Thundering Herd sort of thing. But the Thundering Herd is a completely different place. So let's go to what? DeepSeek? Is that what it is? DeepSeek.com? Let me start now. Let me log in with Google. Just put this over here and make sure I'm a human. Apparently this is a better version of ChatGPT that China made. So let me ask it some questions. And apparently you can do... I don't want to do search the web. Okay. Why is OKC Thunder named the Thunder? It's apparently better. We received a chart with multiple tabs or multiple numbers on it. A chart of numbers. So it is sort of to do with weather, which is good because that's what I want to do. But something to do with Thunderbirds, which they don't touch at all. They do like the bison. Okay, so we're going to throw this over here because whatever, we don't need it. What's up, MDR made that? So really what I want to do is, forever ago, I started making some sort of templates for OKC. I don't know where they are. And I never did anything with them. I want to see if I can find them. Because I was like, oh, because I looked up a while ago and it was like the Thunder always had the like worst social media. So I was like, okay, well, what can we do to make that better? And I actually made some I made some really these are really old. When I was doing my 365, there's this random girl that ran this OKC Zone Instagram page. So I made her like templates and stuff and like game chats, like 2018. So like these are fun little things I made forever ago. And then it like changed to fan-sided or something like that. OKC Hoops. So I made these like 7 years ago. But I started making some newer ones because I was going to make it a whole like case study. But then decided not to. So let me just save an image real quick. I want to do something with like the Doppler radar using their colors. I think that would be cool. Chris wants me to do something with some Twisters inspiration. So he wants me to just take this photo. We'll Photoshop Shai's head on top of it. Turn him around. Now, honestly, that would be something someone probably would do. Like, I can see a client asking for that. Doing the Twisters logo. Twisters poster. You know, taking this poster and then changing this to be the Thunder. And then it says Thunders, but it's a tornado, so it's like Twisters, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. Clutch points circa 2022. But I wanted to do something with like something Doppler radar wise. So I want to figure out how to like do that. And I can't tell if I want to use both of these images or just this one. I edited these images already. You can see some of the skin tones a little bit different. I just thought this was a really good photo of Shai. It's really blurry though. Like the just camera movement on it, which is less than good. Oh god. Accidentally hit a button. So sorry that your ears all just exploded and everything kind of reset. But we're good. So this photo had like a blur to it. So I tried to fix it, but it's pretty hard to do. You could probably use AI to figure it out, but I really like this front image because it's, let me disable this layer mask. Just like this nice angle, a little bit different. I got to get rid of this arm though, so we'll fix that real quick. So I'm just gonna turn this into a smart object, and we'll grab this. So I do want to chat, and I do want to figure out how to utilize the co-editing feature. Me and Chris in chat tried it out Friday or so, and there are some limitations to it. Like you can't use the select tool like I'm doing right now. It's just not available. It's not an option that works. You can't use the gradient tool and you can't use the frames tool. Really the main hiccup we saw was you can't use the select tool and you can't use the that looks fine, right? Yeah. Gradients. It's mainly the gradients is the big issue. Because like you can use gradient map, see?
Gradient map.
That's how that's supposed to work. I think, oh, the lasso you could use. This was not selected. The selection tools. But I guess you could use the lasso. That makes sense. It'd be kind of hard to work if you couldn't use that at all. But gradient maps, we showed you couldn't add more than one color. They could be black and white. And then the gradient tool just over here was grayed out and you can't use it. But we'll talk about that on a different show. So with this image, I wanted to pull some inspiration here live on stream and get your guys' opinion on what kind of graphic this could be. Because it could be something simple like this. This is a bit goofy because the proportions are skewed and stuff on purpose. So it could be something simple. You know, we've shown this Anthony Edwards design often on this. We could do something simple with one. You know, we can always add lightning like this. It's one of those things where I don't know if I want to lean just into stereotypical lighting and effects like that, or if we want to do something, you know, this is really nice on Redbubble. This is stupid because this is Redbubble, but Caroline Blanchett made that. A couple different ways we want to go. You know, we've got these are all Redbubble ads. I don't want to click on Redbubble ads. I want to just look at design stuff. You know, like here's a Shai graphic that's pretty nice that Hassan, who might be here watching, made, where we have some lightning motifs, but it's just photos of him. I want to do that with like a Doppler radar though. Doppler radar, because I don't think someone's done that before. Doppler. It's Doppler radar. Could lean into some solar eyes. Could lean into the Doppler effect visualized. So there's the Doppler effect, but then there's the Doppler radar, which is different because the Doppler effect is like this, but we could use this as a shape. You know, we could use this as a pattern, which is interesting. I think this would be a fun idea to do. I wonder if Envato has a Doppler effect, something or other, on there. So we're gonna type Doppler, see what comes up. Now, if they do have, yeah, okay, it's a bunch of sonogram images, Doppler sounds, add-ons, and then a radar. We could do something with a radar. I mean, that would make sense because we kind of have him expand polarimetric Doppler mobile. Is it the same thing, except this one's got shading to it, or a shadow. Let me look at this. I'm thinking right now, how could I use this as like a cutout? Like if we did something like this, where it's the Doppler radar and then there's something cut out inside of that. I just like using things as silhouettes. And you've seen me do that before. If you've seen my Instagram page, like, you know, we go here, you know, sky silhouetted in AO, silhouette, this is kind of silhouetted, but not really. That's me. You know, silhouette, cut out. It's just, you know, silhouette. It's a fun trend. It's a fun thing to do. So I'm trying to think of how I could utilize the colors of OKC with a specific shape to make it look like the Doppler radar. Now, the All-Star Game's in San Francisco. So that's another thing we could do. You know, we could put it in a real-life environment. So if we want to put him in a real-life environment, maybe we grab some photos of San Francisco, the Bay Area. We could do something with the Golden Gate Bridge. Always an option. Something like he's taking over, you know, the Thunder's taking over, something like that. The Golden Gate Bridge is just always a good photo to grab. They usually have good angles on here, and I think I've got a solid photo of this somewhere that I used for a project. We could probably steal it and save some time. But you know, you could do something where there's like thunder in the back, like coming in, just depending on what we have. But for now, let's talk about some basics. So I've got a composition set up here. It's 3000 pixels by 3750 at 300 pixels per inch. The pixels per inch don't really matter unless I want to print this off, but it's always good to have the option. So I want to go to view, go to guides. I'm going to go to new guide layout, and we're going to make a new guide layout. 2 columns, 2 rows, no gutter. Half an inch, just to give me some nice borders. I like margins, I like borders. Just so we have some breathing room. So we can intentionally break these borders or not. So let me go in here. Let's grab that radar and let's just put it in here. We might not even use it, but we have it. We have the availability. And the great thing with these Envato files is I've got a shadow on here. I can just remove the background. Save and quit out of that. What's up, Graphic Dan? So we have this here now. I don't think I want the shadow on there, but we can always add it back in later. No, I didn't do the critique yet. I don't know if I want to do that now, or I might do it a little bit. I might do it after we make this graphic. I want to sort of hit the ground running with this. And this stream is brought to you by the International Organization of Designer with Borders, or DWB, as we like to call it. Okay, so what if we... I'm going to hide this here. I'm going to put these up. I'm going to grab a gradient. You know me, I like... Oops. Why are you not letting me delete? Invert. Drag. There. Light, dark. Hide that there. Let's give him a platform. I think I just want it to be dark, actually. So we're going to multiply that. Sort of invert it like this. My guy is doing the black to black gradient. It's the easiest gradient you can do. It's easier to understand how it works. So we got Shai on top of this. I want to use these colors for the Doppler effect that we're going to do. And I probably want that in this. So we might put the Doppler effect coming through this shape. Oh gosh. Or not the Doppler effect, a Doppler radar. I don't think I'm going to sneeze again. I think we're in the clear. I never remember, do I need to hold shift, not hold shift, because they keep changing how this works. But we can go like this. So then this is our thing. So if we put this here and then delete this, this is what we're working with. I think I might want him to be actually standing on something, so we might have to fix that. But the question is, how can we get Doppler radar? We'll just go to the National Weather Service and look at what the Doppler radar looks like. Because basically it's cloud. So I think what we might do is we might, in the background, you know, screenshot sort of something like this, where it's San Francisco in the background. And then we put on just sort of this thing. Now, to me, if you look at this, we can really just make it a black and white mosaic gradient that's a specific, that just is lighter in the middle and dissipates out. So we got the white, not the white, the yellow to orange to blue. So we can do that. We can pixelate something and basically put it on top of San Francisco. So I think that's what we're going to do. So let me go to texaslib.edu map Castaneda, enter. There you go. The Perry Castaneda Library Map Collection at the University of Texas, Austin. I like to use this. This has a lot of just maps. So I want to find a map of California. Yeah, so like if you ever want to add like a topographic texture to something, which was a trendy thing to do, I always came here and just found an actual map of the place if they had it. So they've got a bunch of things. So here's San Francisco original scale from 1970. So this is a city map of San Francisco. Pretty solid. You can zoom in. Usually they're pretty large images. So I'm going to save that and just download it. I want to see if they have another one. So they've got a milk map of San Francisco and one from 1915. So I'm going to go here, see what this looks like. This has some nice textures to it, which is pretty cool. It's the San Francisco Bay. This one is what you'll see a lot of. A lot of texture. This is width-wise. It's not zoomed out as I would like, so I'm not going to use that one. But they have maps of a ton of stuff on here, which is great. And you can usually go here and you go to this reference map. Oh, I want this, actually. I just want this. This just seems like it's from like an atlas. This is sort of what I want. But they usually have a... Maybe not. They have like a reference map. So if you have different counties, it'll tell you what the counties are. But we can go to Europe. So if we want to go to Poland, we got Poland maps right here. So I know, Chris, we got some Poland maps here. So if we want something, you know, transportation, let's see what the transportation was like in the year 2000. So here's a nice map of Poland. So that's easier than like trying to Google around to find images. I always just go there. And can we use these? I don't know. I think it'll be fine. Just docs Chris. You're welcome, Chris. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Might be a little bit fuzzy, but I want it to be able to show that it says San Francisco somewhere. So we might make this smaller, just so we can read it. And you know what? We might put San Francisco like jutting out of it so we can read it. But what does this map look like? Is this one better? Because this one's just the San Francisco area. So maybe we have San Francisco like right here. It's like in his hip pocket, which is kind of nice. I think that works. So what I want to do is, if I'm looking at a map, you know, we're looking at the weather. This is what the weather looks like on the National Weather Service. This could work with like a severe weather alert thunderstorm coming to San Francisco angle. Right. So it makes sense in that kind of way. I mean, it's San Francisco, which is good. You know, they're having lots of bad weather or the fires in LA, but they would like rain in LA technically, so we need this to be pretty generic looking. Like, this is good. Like, I kind of just want to like screenshot this and put it on there. It'd be funny if this was like some weird vector file we could download, but you know it's not. Let's take a look at the source on here and just see what... Oh, look at this. See, we could just steal a Doppler pattern from the National Weather Service, which is actually, this is pretty funny. So these just sort of scale and they just update based on the Doppler image. So that's cool. If you want just like a Doppler image, you can do it on here. We're just finding out new fun things. Okay, so I want this to be... Theoretically, I want this to be black and white. So I'm going to invert this so we can see San Francisco in white. And then usually I like to use gradient maps to make things black and white. I don't know why these all add. I never add these. They just like show up. Which is kind of weird, but I want this to be black and white. So I want it to be really black, really white. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to do this. Probably should use this curves layer. Hey, what's that?
Curve.
I hit it too fast. So curves to make this dark, make this light, something like that. So we're going to save this. And we'll just save this to my desktop. So it's a PSB file or a PSD file. My Photoshop really likes to save out PSB files because I make large documents, but for this, it's fine. So let's replace the contents on that. Here, I'll let the curves play completely because I cut it off.
Curves.
There. I feel like that didn't play anything though. It's weird. So now we have this. So I can set this to screen and put it underneath here. So we have this sort of San Francisco thing going on. Now we can use these colors as contrast and make the Doppler radar thing coming in. And I'm trying to think. So we want severe thunderstorm warning Doppler radar because they make that look a little bit different. Yeah, so it's like this. They'll draw lines on it for counties, or they'll draw paths of tornadoes. So I think we might do that like this right here. So like this is where like a path of a tornado would be going. And it's, so we want to go white to orange to yellow to blue. So that's good to know. And like having something like this, so like the Doppler radar spreads out like this. This is actually funny because this is Oklahoma City. So this is literally what we're looking at. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the OKC logo. We're going to put it behind Shai. We're going to use this as our thunderstorm. So let's go to filter. We'll go to pixelate. We'll go to mosaic, which we used for our Lego thing. I want to do something real quick. I want to see if we can do this. Not to get sidetracked. But I thought it'd be cool if we made a quick action for Legos to make a Lego action. That way we can just make things look like they're Legos. Oh, this is opening up in Photoshop beta, which is not what I want. So you can have two versions of Photoshop open at the same time. It's not what I want. So I'm going to quit out of this version of Photoshop and then open something on here, and my computer's probably crashing. Okay, cool. So we exist again. We're here. Everything's fine. So I'm going to make an action just to turn this into Legos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. If you haven't used actions, I've got a bunch of actions here. This is a good little action thing. So I've got my default actions here. I'm just going to hit the plus button at the bottom. It's going to say, what do you want to name it? I'm going to name it Lego. So what I'm going to have it do here is just going to repeat anything you do. So I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to combine everything together, turn it into a smart object. I'm doing that with hotkeys. Then I'm going to go up to filter. I don't want to go to filter mosaic yet. I want to go to pattern overlay. It's going to give it a pattern overlay of that Lego texture we made. Now it says rookie of the year, which doesn't make any sense. So we're going to have to fix that. But I think I need that to match the shape actually. So it hasn't done anything yet, which is good. So I want to go to filter mosaic. And we want to do 50 or 100 or 75. 75 looks good. That might not be enough Legos. Let me Command Z. You can always delete this. So I can always hit stop down here, delete. It'll delete that selection, and then I can hit record, and it'll start recording again. So I can go to filter mosaic again and do like 60. There. Then if I go down to pattern overlay, I can select that pattern. I can make it set to multiply, and then I just make it match up with the scale of these, which is 30%. Pretty good. Hit OK, hit OK. That's all we have to do. I can hit stop now, and now we have a Lego creation thing. So I can quit out of this, don't need it. So if I open up any image that is that exact size, so here's this, that Gibbs graphic it's opening up in Photoshop beta. See, I gotta tell my computer not to default open up with Photoshop beta because I want to open up here. So I'm going to open up just a random graphic. It's the same size, so I know it will work. And then I don't have to do anything. I can just click on this and hit play. And then it should just turn it into Legos. So there, now I have Legos of this thing made, which is cool. So that's fun. So I made a little bit of an action. I just wanted to do that at some point in time. So we have this mosaic here, which is good. It's what we want. I think I want it to be a little bit more. Let's do 30. Let's do 42 just because that's the answer to everything. Now this looks like the OKC logo, which is not what we want. We want it to look like Doppler radar, which gets progressively inside, gets darker for the most part. So we're going to add some effects to this. So let's go to the blur gallery and let's do a path blur on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and, you know, weather twists around and stuff. So I probably could have used a spin blur on this, but we want to use just like, we just want to blur the crap out of this. It's not a centered blur. Do we want to taper it a little bit? Maybe. We don't really need to give it grain. I think that's good. So we'll blur it so it's more of a random shape, but we're using it as a base. Now I want the mosaic to be on top of it, so I'm just going to drag it above it. And it should mosaic on top of that blur then, if it's going to let me. Blur gallery below. There we go. So it's rendering the smart filters. Let me pull that over here so you can see what's going on. Rendering, rendering, rendering. So it's taking that blur and then it's putting the mosaic on top of it. So we have our things again. Except you can't do that. So that's weird. It just hates me. Okay, so let me duplicate this blur gallery. Because I want it to spin like a whole bunch. And we can always affect the color later. So we're going to do that now, actually. We're going to open this up. And this is actually going to open up in Illustrator because this is a vector file. Which is fine. I have an idea of what we can do for this. And it should work out. So I've got to open up an Illustrator off screen. Drag that over here. Okay, so for this, I have an idea of what might work. And we could mosaic stuff in here, I'm pretty sure. But we can always mosaic somewhere else. Also, those just died. I'm gonna pop these in. And make sure I can hear what's going on. There we go. All right, so now we're connected. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully the audio is not coming through this. It's not. Good. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this OKC logo. I'm just gonna move it up here and copy it. So this is what the logo looks like, which is great. So I'm gonna grab this. And then what we're actually gonna do is we're just going to, we'll do it this way. We'll grab these guys and we're just gonna make these this. Why is that happening? That's weird. This is a really weird file. Hold on. Okay. So I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna make this color, but put it in the back. But is this something see-through on here? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, these are grouped together. Oh, things are grouped. But I hit A, so that shouldn't matter. Let me ungroup all of this. We're gonna make the outside this. It's doing that because this is clipped. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. We'll fix it anyway. How I'm gonna do this, it's not gonna matter. It's just like one giant object. I think that's why. Whatever, we'll just do this. It's fine. This is kind of what I was gonna do anyway. So I'm gonna merge this all together. So I can do that with the shape builder tool and just scribble around, or I can merge it using the Pathfinder, but this works just as good. But not really, because it has all this crap now on here. The shape builder tool is something that I got to teach my students how to use, and I had honestly never used it before because I don't use Illustrator a ton. I don't like design characters or sketch in here like a lot of people do. But the shape builder tool is really nice. It's a lot easier to use than the Pathfinder. Okay, so we've got this. We want to make this color. This is our base. So we'll take this, we'll go to Object, Path, and then we will offset this path. Like, what's the word that I want to do for this? And this is why we need to get rid of these tiny little guys in here, which I can find using this. Just grab outline mode, just click on these, and then delete them all. Because ideally, we're just going to basically offset the path a bunch until we can basically have a gradient inside out, or steps in to out that are different colors. Okay. So now if I take this and I go to Object, Path, Offset Path, and then offset it inward, it should look like that, which is kind of okay, but not really what we want. What is down here? This little guy right here is ruining everything. These tiny little specks you can't even see. Weird. Okay. So we'll go back to this mode. We'll grab this. And for like the 8th time, we'll go to Path, Offset Path. There. That's better than what I want. So that's good. So we're going to make this blue color. We'll go to Object, Path, Offset Path. Do it the same distance. We'll make it the yellow color, and then we'll go to Object. Actually, what I want to do here is I want to delete this, and really just delete this, and then we'll join this together. So this is another shape now. So we'll go to object path and we'll offset the path again. Except this isn't a joined shape, because why would it be joined? Even though I hit the correct buttons to join it. I don't think I did it again. Offset path. There you go. Okay, so we'll make this orange. And then we'll do one more object path, path, offset path, and we'll make it white. So this is sort of what we're dealing with. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to hit save, and we're going to go back here. And this should get super blurry. Should do some things. Okay, I saved it. Now it's updating here. So now it's just going to be randomly blurred shapes like that, which is sort of what we want. I'm going to turn that into a smart object, which is that hotkey. And now if I mosaic it, it should work, which it does. Just doesn't look like anything. So we might have to... I think that's fine. We'll mosaic it here, but we'll go in here. We'll turn this mosaic back on as well. I'd be interested to see if you can't mosaic on top of a blur gallery on top of an item. Because it's not doing anything, and if I drag this above the blur gallery, it just deleted both of them. Like you see over there, it's like replacing it. Let's see if it works though. Okay, it's doing what I wanted. So that's good. So we'll save here, quit out of there. So we have sort of this thing. Now, it's not exactly what I want because it's blurry. I think we can solve that by duplicating it a couple times. Maybe we set some of these to screen or overlay just to really bump up the... what is it called? Contrast. So we've got one blur gallery doing that. They're all applied to this. So I'd rather go like this, delete this, turn this into a smart object, delete it, overlay, delete, screen, delete. Let's just add another overlay on top of that. I'm just adding a ton of contrast. I want to edit one of these blur galleries though. So we're going to edit one of these blur galleries to see if we can not have it twist around so much. We'll just have it sort of do something a little bit different, but still make it... let's taper this one. I don't know. Effects? No. Uh-oh. Got it. Oh, I opened up bridge. I hit that hotkey that opens up bridge on accident. It's like Shift Command O or something like that. I do not want that open. If I do a... oh, I want to do a rear sync blur. And then it will allow me to have effects. Basic blur. Should there be something under here that allows me to add like flash points or something like that? And I can edit the blur shape so it does different stuff. This, which I usually don't do. Oh, we're just making a blurry shape. Layton, I use Bridge to look at images. Instead of using like Finder to look through images, you can use that. It comes in handy. You can sort images by when they were taken, what kind of what kind of image they are. It comes in handy. I'm gonna open Bridge up and I'm gonna show you because I use Bridge all the time. So let me open that up. The only issue I have with Bridge is it's really boggy. It takes forever. It takes a ton of your cache. Because if it loads 3,000 photos in a folder, it's going to remember those for the future. So let me pull up an example of how I would use this. I've got Bridge up here. I'm just trying to find something I actually want to show you instead of just like, here's a whole bunch of stuff. I also use it to clean out my... here, I'll just show you. I'll show you this. Yeah, that should be fine. This is my desktop. So I use this too to just go in here to my desktop, which has 1,500 images in it. And I can go in here and just say, okay, which one of these are ping files? So I have 981 ping files on my desktop. I can probably delete all these because they're probably just exports from Photoshop. So I can highlight all these and delete them, and it quickly deletes all the ping files off of my computer. If you took a photo, it'll show you the metadata for the photo. When you took it, what time you took it at. So if you're going through images, you can find photos you took with a specific lens, with a specific camera, stuff like that. So it comes in handy. It just depends on what you want to use it for, or how you source and sort through images. That's a problem. So I just need to make these compositions bigger because it's cutting off the edge. So we're going to fix that. You can also do camera raw right inside of Bridge, so it then saves a file next to it. So in that folder, you can have camera raw images edited that you can then export. So you don't need Photoshop open or Lightroom. You don't have to import anything to Lightroom. It's just all natively inside of a folder. I'm making these huge because I think they're really wide. I just want to make sure I don't cut them off. But that's what I use Bridge for. It comes in handy. It's a different way to look at files. Made by Adobe. So if you just want to get even more in use the term in bed with Adobe, you can do that. Okay, so we have this sort of Doppler file. So this kind of looks like a storm. But how can we make it look more like a storm? I think it's mainly the coloring, which is why it doesn't look like a storm. But I want to use their colors. I think we get rid of the dark blue because that's part of the background. I don't think it'll pop. This will pop a little bit better. And one thing we could do too is we could just blend all these together like that. I can take this and I can make this blue. We can take this and make this yellow. And then go like that. So I can save that. It's going to blend together and update here automatically. Let's see what this looks like. I want to see if I can find... Here's a big 3 graphic I made. Made that during my 365. Nice, plain old, really bad 3D. Excuse me, graphic. I don't know where I saved any of that stuff to. So this is what it looks like now, which might be what I want. And it's saved automatically here. So let me turn some of these off to see what we're looking at. We don't need that anymore. So it looks like this now. I think the issue with the storms is they have a lot of green in it. People associate green with rain. So we might want to just add in that color. So we've got white, we've got red, yellow, yellow. So we might want to make this blue color and then make this outer edge color just green. Like that. So save that. We'll go back to our smart object because it automatically saves as long as I have it open, which I do not, which is a problem. So I have to open it again. So I can just copy this, delete this, paste it all in here, save and go back, and I'll just boop, pop it in. And I don't know how much of a difference it's going to look because this looks a lot different than the other one. The other one had a lot more darkness to it, which is kind of weird because it should be the exact same. But I guess the yellow blending in kind of blurred it out. And we did blur the crap out of it. So this will update automatically. It's just adding the mosaic, the blur gallery to it. So we will save this here. Go back here. See, does that look more like a storm? I think the issue too is, and this is the great thing. Let me quit out of both of these. Yeah, I know no layers are selected. I'm going to open this up here. We can do this sort of live. So I'm going to turn down the white. Okay, that didn't do anything I wanted. Make smaller. What is happening? Why is it letting me select a billion paths and just deleting them all? This doesn't make any sense, because the layers are going to be like 4 things. Did it? Oh, no. Did it really do that? Well, that's silly. Why did it expand and commit to this blur? That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. MDR made that. What is your opinion on white space? Or better question, how much white space do you think is too much? So whenever I am, yeah, see, this is like expanded, which sucks because I don't want this. What I tell people is if I'm making something, in terms of borders, I always like to have those border padding edges because I think they look really nice. Sorry, and I want to just highlight all of this, copy this, delete this, paste. Can't do that. I almost have to make this again, how I want this to work. Because basically I want the white to be really small. So I have these borders around everything, so I can make sure that I have borders. When I'm designing something, I want something to be inside the composition or outside the composition. And you can use white space for that. It all depends on like what your intentions are. You just don't want it to look crowded. If it looks crowded, that's not good. And we can talk about that too in a little bit more. Oh wait, this looks nice. I just need to get rid of this white. Sorry, this is just being a pain in the ass because this shouldn't do this. Oh, this exists still. Thank God. Okay, so I can just paste this in here, and then we're good. So we're gonna make this color, this color, this color, and then we're gonna make this background green, like that, which is good. I guess I can make that this blue color. Okay. Like this. Bear with me for a second. I think the white was just making things look stupid. So I save that and go back here, and it should update automatically for me. Thank God we had that sort of stacked one on there. Really, when you're designing something with white space, everything should have intention behind it. So I'll pull my Instagram up in a little bit and give you an example of that. It might help to have some bad ideas or bad examples of white space. I just like things to have breathing room is really what it is. So this is too much blue now. So if I go back here, what is this set to? Set this to screen. Set this to overlay, but it's set to like 50%. Not enough yellow now. Okay, so I really need the yellow to shine. Shoot. I need this to be this color, and then I need this to be this color. I think I can mosaic this in here. There's a mosaic effect in here, but it's not really that. It's like a Photoshop mosaic effect. But I thought there was a way I could do something in here. I don't want help on mosaic. I want you to show me how to do. Okay, it's fine. We spend an hour just editing this Tide logo to make it look how we want. Save, go back here. Is this even the right one? Oh, this is the wrong file. So if we go back here, and this just takes forever to load because we have 3 effects on it, so it just takes a hot sec. So while it does that, let's pull up. Pull up the Insta. Because we want it to look blocky, which is kind of does look blocky. Just doesn't look like a storm because it's too... I think it's not organic enough. I think we need to do a couple things, which I can think of. Well, let's go back here. So this is what it looks like now, which is fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new smart object via copy. So it makes a complete copy of that. We're going to turn this into a smart object and then drag these on top of it. So now we have like four things of smart objects. While that does that, let's look at just things I've made. So like in terms of white space, so like this is sort of white space. It's not white, but it's open space. There's a lot of open space on this. There's padding along the edges, so things aren't going off the edge. But if they do go off the edge, like this signature, it goes off the edge on purpose. White space need not to be white. I like to use the borders on a lot of stuff I use. So like here's the border. I know there's padding around the edge, so it fits nicely in here. But everything has padding around it, so it fits in, or it purposefully breaks behind something. It has padding around it, or it purposely breaks behind something. And that's usually how I think about things. So let's look at some like other random things I've made. So like here's one. This has a lot of decent amount of white space, where we've got this nice border around it. He's on top of this thing. Some things are going behind some objects to make it more interesting. But in general, it's pretty open. There's a lot of just space that is around here. Let's scroll way down. Here's another one. Here's a weird one. So for this, I filled in this area a ton because it looks weird and I wanted it to be weird. But I changed the sizes on them. There's not as much white space on here. It really just depends on what the thing is. So like Obi got traded on July 1st, 2023. So like there's a ton of white space on this because I want the focus to be on this image and the text. So just depending on what you want to do with the design, I think is going to determine what your white space is. So I'm going to delete this because this is what we have now. So if we save and go back here, this is what our weather pattern looks like. But you can see it's blurring a lot differently, which is a little bit weird. And I think because these blur galleries affect it differently because of the composition. So we might turn one of these off just so it's less blurry. It's less blurry wide. We're going to blur it actually to make it more organic of a shape. And I think that'll help. Does that answer your question on white space? The thing with me is I would say from doing this, I will know if something's bugging me optically. Just from looking at it, I'll be like, that looks kind of cooked. You need to tweak this, change that, move it over here, move this over there. Let's open up. Do we have DeepSeek open on here? Can I do this? Show me a bad example of, or no, show me an example of poor white space in a design composition. Okay, so it's not going to show me, it's just going to tell me. It's giving me a visual text-based representation and how to fix something. Let me go back to Photoshop so this can load. I'll swing this over so you can read this hilariousness. So, lack of hierarchy, doesn't have proper spacing. It's hard to distinguish between primary and secondary information. That's something you need to make it a good design. Reduced readability, obviously you want it to be legible. And if it's overwhelming, which is the lack of white space, makes it feel too chaotic. So like, one thing I know I designed, and there's a reason I don't prefer this one, except Instagram's gone. Instagram gone? Instagram. We'll pop back here. Okay, so this is good. I just need to change this blur gallery to not be. Yeah, see it like it changed this whole blur because it applied it to this whole object. So it needs to be a lot smaller. So I need it to be like down like this. And then I can pull this out a little bit and up. And I don't know what this is doing. This is being really weird. I don't want to edit the blur shapes. Can you uncheck that, please? Okay, thanks. But like, why is it zipping off so fast there? Is it because of the... Oh, it's the endpoint speed. I want that to be 0. That's better. Okay. This is what I want. Okay, so back here. This graphic I made. So I made this as a version 1 for this Nick Saban graphic, which I think was nice because it had all this spacing around it. Focuses on this collage here. What they ended up posting was this last one, which is this. Which is just a big old collage. Which is fine if that's what the client wants. To me, I didn't think this had a lot of white space. I don't know where to look. Now, I do have hierarchy in here of bigger images and smaller images of Saban. But this is a lot to focus and can be overwhelming compared to this, which has white space. A more focused area to look at. So I hope that helps. We might hop in and just do critiques of some stuff while this loads because it takes forever. We're going to spend 30 minutes making this file. Because I'm going to go in here. I want to take this because this is the file now. It's not in Illustrator. But I want to blur this. But I want to blur it in such a way. I really want to round it. So I think what I want to do is I want to go in here. I want to round all the edges. Which isn't going to do anything. I want to round these edges more. Can I round these more? Okay, good. We're just trying to make this a little bit more of an organic looking shape than super sharp because that's what weather is, right? I don't know. Can I turn this two things? Okay, we'll just save that, put it here, and then save. We'll filter blur. We're going to Gaussian blur this. Oh, God. 10 pixels. I'm going to turn off this top one. So I'm going to blur it like that. What I was going to do was I was going to add a threshold to this. Just going to turn it black and white though. I don't want to do that. So we'll just blur it slightly. And you know what? We're just going to add a mosaic here while we're at it. Just to really crunch it up and just see what happens. How are you guys all doing today? You guys rooting for the Bills or Chiefs today, and are you rooting for the Commanders or the Eagles today? Let me know in chat. There's a right answer and a wrong answer. Just to clarify, to let you know, there's a right answer and there's a wrong answer. So please say the correct answer. All right, so Chris wants Eagles, Bills. What else? There's 12 of you in here. First time chatter, let me know who you want to be in the Super Bowl not next week, in a couple weeks. Commanders, Bills. Okay. I'm just waiting for a Chiefs fan to hop in here and be like, oh, I want the Chiefs to win. They never do anything. When I say there's a right and a wrong answer, there's not really a right and a wrong answer, but like, come on, nobody wants the Chiefs to win, right? Okay. So now we have this. Does this look like a weather pattern? Not really. Well, the Bills play the Chiefs, right? So it can't be Bills Chiefs. The Bills play the Chiefs today. So we need them to win. Am I a fan of the Ben Johnson hire? Yes, that's the correct person we should have hired. So I am pleased that they did that. I'm going to cheat and go in here. Yes, a Bills Chiefs would be insane since they're in the semis together. All right, so I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to paint with this brush. And actually, I'm going to do it with a square brush. Square brush. Great. I need a square brush. No. And we're just going to add in to this. To add this, and we're going to add into this. My opacity is 50 and 50. I want it to be 100. I'm just going to just paint around. Make this a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit dynamic. And then we'll just add in a little bit of white. Like this. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of AFC and NFC teams. Especially depending on who you're a fan of. But yeah, I like the Ben Johnson hire. It's the only person really we wanted to hire. Like, if you give me a list of like 3 people, what would it be? Ben Johnson would be on that list for everyone. You meant it's probably going to be Eagles Chiefs. Yeah, I think most people don't want that. Everybody just wants the Chiefs to lose. So good job, you want the Bills to win. Your NFL supporting is always based on wanting the teams people I follow on social support losing. So I see less NFL related posts. You could stop following those people too. Or just mute the words. I do that on Twitter. I just mute things I don't want to see by teams, hashtags, team names, any sort of anything that has to do with that team, just mute it. Just set it up as a mute word, and then you're good to go. Like, I don't know if I can see. I know some of them. I have a ton of muted words though. But who knows if Elon's gonna change it all so you can't even do that. Let me look. Privacy and safety, mute and block, muted words. Yep. I have Buffs and Travis Hunter muted on here and Shadur because I didn't want to hear about them. I have Alabama and Bama on here. I have Antonio Brown muted. A lot of things that have to do with Michigan I have muted. Go Tigers, LSU I have muted. That's old too. The LSU one's super old. I think when they won the championship with Joe Burrow, I went in and was just like, no, I don't want to do that. All right, so here's this weather pattern that doesn't look like a weather pattern. Is the mosaic too big? Is that why? If I turn this mosaic off, the mosaic's here. Okay, I don't want the mosaic in here because that just breaks how this looks. I think I'm trying to think of an effect I can put on here because I want it to be... I know what I want. Okay, I think I got it. See, and I'm on Blue Sky, but like... whenever I post something, it gets literally 0 interaction. It could be because I'm not using it enough. I'm not adding people. I'm usually just still on Twitter, but like... I could go on Blue Sky on here and just see... what has happened. Blue Sky. It's loading. Yeah, like the last 2 or 3 things I posted on there have 0 things. Yeah, I've 42 followers. Hey, look, it's Dan who didn't want to hang out and do cool stuff and do this together. But that's fine. We can do it a different time. I think I'm going to posterize this. Yeah, posterizing this is going to make it look a lot more like some sort of weather channel. We're going to do 4. We're going to save that and go back here. Ooh. Let's turn this on. And then we turn the mosaic back on. Yeah, like that. We posterize before that. So this looks solid. This looks better. We just need more red. So we have to do the red in here now. I think I just need to blur it less. Let me get rid of this other blur gallery. Yeah, man, you and Chris are mods. I think people like 4 years ago, I made a bunch of people mods. That looks better. Save that. Go here. It's a lot of dark, but I think it'll be fine. Go here. Maybe not. What do I have these set to? What does just the regular one look like? Does that look fine? No, it needs more. A little bit of overlay. Is this set to screen? No, let's set that to screen. And is this set to overlay at like 50%? Good. Okay, that's what I want. And what is this set to? It's just too dark. But I guess if this is too dark, I can always go in here and just have the current layer blend in if it's kind of like that. All right, so we've got our Doppler radar. We have our sort of incoming storm, which kind of looks like a storm, kind of doesn't look like a storm. But we can always fix that with like curves and stuff. I already hit the curves thing, so we'll just not do it again. But curves, just pull this up a little bit like that. And we have this big shape now. Where are we going to put this shape is the question now. You know, weather comes in left to right. Not left to right, but sort of like this. If we set this to screen, that doesn't break things. We want to be able to see San Francisco on top of it. So maybe we put this San Francisco layer on top of this and mask to it, set to screen. But then we have it masked to this, so we can still see through it. So you can see the full thing. But is this the exact same as if I just set this to screen? No, because the color's there and the color's deep, so that's what we want, which is good. So what I was suggesting to Dan we try in this beta is, like, we would both have this photo of Shai in a composition. We turn it into two different smart objects, work off of that, and then we save it, it just pops up back here. And then we mask it out in some sort of way. So it basically just updates the mask every time. So we're kind of live collaborating, but you're working in a separate file, just updates automatically together. Okay, what else do we want in this graphic? Because it's been an hour and we have a Doppler-esque looking graphic, which is what we wanted, which is good. I'm going to take this file here actually, and I'm going to make it so it's only white, like that. And then turn that into a smart object. I'm going to give this a color overlay of white. That way it's just pure white when we go into here. And there's no crunchiness to it. I don't even need to set it to screen. I can just set it to normal, which is sort of what we want. Okay, so let's go back. We need some more inspiration. Let's see if while Dan's here, Dan can win the Pinterest game. No, there's too many ads. Ad. Like, why are there 4 ads above the fold? That's stupid. So I wanted to do that. This would be kind of nice, doing something like this where it cuts out. We can do that with the Doppler effect, which we talked about. Gotta get on that wiper too, bro. What is that? Is there an ad? Or was that one of these ads? I don't even know. Or is that a thing? Oh. Hold on, is this turned on? Let me turn ad blocking on. Does this even work on Pinterest? Probably not. I'll look into that. Because I have an ad blocker, it just doesn't work as well as it should. See, this is nice. Is this AI generated? Maybe, maybe not. That I have to ask. Because this isn't even a player. This is number 11? I don't even know. Hey, look. There. No, this is Johnny. This isn't you, Dan. So it doesn't count. But something with lightning we could add to this. And I have a bunch of lightning effects we could use. And one thing I was going to show is inspiration for this would be, while Dan is here, let's pump Dan up. There's no way it's on here yet. Yeah. All of your charger stuff. Because you guys sort of did that with like weather and stuff and patterns and like chargers. So like 0G. I only had to half type it in, right? Oh, it's all in Behance. See if I go to Behance, it's all here. But you also had 0 hand in it because you work for the Buccaneers. But I thought this was nice. It's, you know, the game's day experience is like a storm. So they did stuff with storms, which is good with sort of how they used gradients and stuff like that and chunkiness. And they did all this other cool stuff with the logo. So they had different versions of that with sunshine and stuff. But they did stuff with clouds. Clouds phasing, which was cool. So they have these clouds and stuff. And, you know, this is really gritty and matches the work that 0G does. I'm gonna make this a lot bigger. I just don't think I've ever seen anyone put a Doppler radar pattern in a design, which is why we're doing it, because we like to try and reinvent the wheel here at Bradley Jack Design, which is not always a good thing. Question 2 is, what do we want the messaging to be with this? Do we want it to say something? Because he's an all-star. What's the message? It's usually a good idea to have some sort of message with something like this. Unless it just says Shai. It says his name down here. Like, there's a nice little pocket here for information that we can put. I'm just trying to vision how this can look better. And how we can get there. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Just like... You know, we can have a San Francisco street breaking through. It's begging for dark clouds. We're going to do some stuff with lightning. I don't want to copy straight off. I don't want to just completely rip off this. Because we could use clouds. Put gradient maps over them. Make them look similar. It'd be like this. The storm. It's just really how they use gradient maps. Which is smart. Let's go back here. We could have him... You know, coming out of a San Francisco street. I see you spell San Francisco right. Dan Francisco. So like instead of having this here, we have a street and he's coming out of the street. Or there's a thunderstorm here and he's inside. Like this doesn't exist. So we hide all this. And look, we're back to nothing. So he's on a street in San Francisco, and then inside of this shape here is a storm that's a brewing. All right, we'll see you later, Dan. We'll get him on the stream someday to sit down and work collaboratively. We just need to make sure that the collab feature is a lot more usable. All right, do we want him here on Lombard Street? The issue with finding images is like you want to find something that is noticeable enough that people know what it is. So he's somewhere. Like it's in San Francisco, but is it in San Francisco? What arena is All-Star Week 2025 NBA? So it's at the Chase Center, which is where the Warriors play, which is in San Francisco. Images, or is it adjacent to San Francisco? I never know. Yeah, it's actually in San Francisco, which is good. Okay, so we want to find a photo of the Chase Center then, essentially. Chase Center. We might have to scrape this off of Google. It would actually be really nice if we had an aerial shot from straight above like this. This is LA, but that would make it so we can do something with like the radar on top of it. Maybe we have that behind it. Just brainstorm. We can always do something with this other image we have. You know, we can crop something inside of that. Try not to do stereotypical things. But what we have that we know we want is this. This sort of thing going on. So maybe we simplify the graphic. And figure out how we can utilize this better. Because I don't think this is... Or is the problem that it's too chunky? And like there's a lot more contrast in the radar. You know? Like it's just specific levels. Like I would have to put a gradient map on top of this. And then make all these colors those colors. Like what happens if I do that? I go here and I click on this, but I can't click on this because gradient map's stupid and it's not gonna let me do what I want. We're not gonna do that. It's gonna take too long. Let's set this to screen for now, except I'm not. We're gonna fix this green. So we have all this cool stuff here. So I think the green is too big, so we're just gonna make this larger. We're gonna make this larger. We're going to make this larger, like that. I think that's going to look better. I don't think we want this white. I think this white is breaking things. I don't think we want that either. We're going to make it really organic. Except this isn't organic at all. We could probably make this organic with like the liquefy tool. Or something like that. But I don't want to do that. See, it's the blur gallery with the posterize. Because the posterize works. Maybe we just bump the levels up a little bit. And then we mosaic it here. Well, it's going to get crunchier because we're doing this stuff to it. I think that might help. You guys see anything cool recently on Instagram or Twitter that you think is cool that we could sort of try and steal elements from? I'm all for stealing elements of things. What's up, Rap for the Kingdom? Let's drop this down. Graphic Dan, you want tips on getting freelance design work you've tried getting on socials? Oh, what's up, Kaiser? But not getting anywhere with it. The only thing I would say about getting freelance work is it's sort of that luck quote. It's when opportunity meets preparedness. So really it's about someone with the right set of eyes seeing your work. So you want to make sure that your work is always in front of their eyes, so when they need work, one, they know who you are and they can recommend you. Now, the thing with freelance design is there are a lot of people who do freelance design. There are a lot more people who want to do some sort of sports freelance design. So it's a tough market to, break into one. So I would network too. You want to network with people. So when they have an opportunity, they say, hey, let Brad, me, let's get him on it. Or someone might say your name. Your name might be on a piece of paper in someone's office, and they go, oh, we should have this person do it because they do really good work. And someone said that this is a person that should do this. Stuff like that. Like, I've gotten work the past couple weeks where someone recommended me and was like, hey, this guy might have the opening, I don't have availability, or hey, we want to onboard this person to do this. The really best advice I can tell you to do is keep creating work and keep posting work and start networking with people in a natural way. I've been posting a lot on LinkedIn. I don't know if I'm going to get any work from it, but I've been posting a lot on there just to see how the interactions can go. And I've seen a lot of solid engagement on there. And part of that is because on LinkedIn you can post a lot more stuff. Shoot. Like, I can go on there and give my 2 cents on something a lot better than Twitter because you're not limited to characters. Like, I posted something. Let me go to LinkedIn. Let me just show you. LinkedIn.com. So, like, I have 5 notifications right now on LinkedIn. So, like, I have 400 people who react to this post I posted. And basically, all this is saying is make 3 versions of something. So, like, I made 3 versions of this Coco Gauff graphic with different backgrounds. Do that. But I can say a lot more here on LinkedIn, and this has 18,000 impressions. So that's going to put my eyeballs in front of somebody who is then theoretically might be in the position to say, hey, we need to hire someone. This guy seems to know what he's talking about. How can we get him involved? So I like the look of this better. Adding this sort of shape in here. We might add some lightning bolts in here. I don't know if they use a lightning bolt or something like that. This is using a lot of things. Okay, we can put some stars in here, probably. You started with LinkedIn over a year. Let me save this. Oh God. It's a good idea. It's been an hour and 20 minutes we haven't saved. You feel like LinkedIn's better for designers than other socials? It just depends. I think LinkedIn is probably less saturated in terms of you're going to find more professionals on LinkedIn. You're not going to be able to just sort of goof off like you can on Twitter. And Instagram, I use more. It's just like a portfolio and inspiration website than anything. And LinkedIn is for networking. Yeah, and I mean, you're going to get better theoretical clients than Instagram. I can't say I've gotten any solid work through Instagram because people on there usually don't have budgets and they're just like, oh, we're just going to do our own thing and we don't have any money. Hi, I want this thing made. I have a budget of $16. And I'm just like, okay, bye. I don't know what to tell you. So we're gonna do this. So I like how this looks right now. We're starting to go somewhere. We've got movement going on. I don't know how much I'm sold by this shape in the background, so maybe we use the Shai shape instead. That's sort of more of a stereotypical thing I would do, which I like to try and reinvent the wheel every time I do something. But, you know, classics are classics. What are you gonna do? We can put this here so Shai is there, coming out of that. Maybe we put something in the background. I'm gonna link these together. Maybe we make them a little bit smaller so we can see what's going on. Something like this. I don't like the map down here at the bottom. I want him to be grounded a little bit more. Right now he's stepping on like a wall that's behind him, is how I see this. So maybe we throw this in the background, sort of the map, and then he's on top of it here. I think that makes a little bit more sense. We turn this on and we can just invert this so it's like that. Yes, that's how I want that to work, but I think I want this background photo to be more noticeable about what it is. So we've got Shai's here. I'm using these borders now to line this up so it's got equal padding on the sides. We'll turn this back on, we'll grab this, and we'll delete this, and we'll mask this back. Kind of like this. Really part of it, too, with using these websites is, you know, I'm going to use TikTok as an example. If you put all of your stuff on TikTok and then TikTok goes away, you're screwed. So it's just diversifying where you focus your attention and try and add value to. Like when I post something on Instagram, shoot, I need both of these. When I post something on LinkedIn, you know, I'm doing it to share my 2 cents on something in a way that I hope people will find beneficial. So posting about changed backgrounds, it's a really quick thing to do. If I tweeted that and did the same thing, I don't think it would do as well because I can't eloquently say what I want in the amount of time because I'm limited to X amount of words. Love this. Love when it does that. My gradient tool's been doing that. It's just like, yeah, you can't use the gradient tool. I'm sorry. Learn how to fix. Learn how to fix. I can't fix this. Can I make a new layer mask and then use the gradient tool now? No, great. See? I don't know why it does this. It's really weird. It started to do it and then broke. So I don't know why that's not working. Fine. I'll just use a really soft brush and it's gonna look really stupid. I know people who are on TikTok, to me is more of a, you know, you have to really like making videos, which I don't have the energy to edit. Like I like making these videos and I like making something live, but then I'm done and the video's on the internet and then I don't have to do anything with it. That's what I like because I'm lazy. Is this doing anything? Oh, it is, but I didn't contract it again. Multiply. Let's do like 5 pixels because it's gonna look really bad. Yeah, like I've tossed a couple things on there where it's, you know, here's layer by layer stuff. But I'd rather make a 15-minute YouTube video that shows exactly, like, it actually gives you beneficial information on what is happening. That's what I would prefer to do. And I would like to do this, where I show you step by step. This is how you can do this. This is how this makes sense. And there's fewer trolls here. It's really what it is, too. All right. Where are my floor shadows? These are Dean's floor shadows. I need to get Dean's second batch of floor shadows. Yeah, it's just the only troll I get here is Chris, and I can deal with Chris. I'm talking about real trolls. People who I just completely ignore. And then go, this person's hilarious. They should, like, figure out what to do with their life so they stop just randomly trolling people on the internet. Should be like Dan and, like, make designs and try and do something. Yeah, those don't look too bad. The shadows look okay. This put shadow doesn't really make sense, does it? Oh, I guess I want this to be the same, don't I? Just put it here. But then set it to, like, 2. I just kind of like BS around with these shadows. Like, I never really know what I'm doing with them. I probably use them wrong because I just turn them into smart objects instead of brushes. Like, I should probably squeeze this one and, like, have it go up like this because it's like shadows like this under his knee, and then set it to like 1%. I don't know. Does this have actual shadows on it is the question. Can I steal some shadows from here? Disable layer mask. Oh, it's just literally sideways. Okay. So I can take this shadow here, take these, and just basically squash them. Like that. But then this shadow doesn't make any sense. I gotta squash this shadow too then. I like that. Just put it down here. So now he's really flat. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I think these shadows look worse. I don't know if we need this shadow. We need this. We need these shadows. That's about it. Okay, I really want to put a photo of San Francisco behind him, inside of him, which is sort of what we did. We're just doing what we did for Jaden Daniels, which I don't want to do. We're even gonna put freaking clouds on it, man. This is exactly what we did with Jaden Daniels. Let's grab some lightning. Let's do some lightning stuff. So I have this all around the ball. So the ball is sort of where this attraction area is of where things are. I want the Doppler effect, though. I want to use that as... Is there like a vector version of what this is? Is there something on like Vecteezy or something? Clouds and designs, they come in handy. If it makes sense. They allow you to have depth, which is good. See, like I was gonna put like radar stuff on here. This would really look like this. And like the Doppler radar usually has... How do I want to show this? It's like the Doppler radar would... Do we want it to come from San Francisco? Or do we want it to emanate from here, you know, out of this ball? Or do we want it to just come from like a random spot? Because like if it came out of a random spot, we would basically What is going on? Oh, I'm creating a rectangle on accident. Like, I would want to do like this. And I kind of did this on a graphic. I did this on... What is it called? It's not on the radar. Ready for takeoff. So I did this on the Date and 6 cards. I used a radar sort of thing. It's opening up in Photoshop Beta though, because I didn't fix it, because we're still on stream, because it doesn't matter. I need to fix it later. Let me quit out a bridge too while we're at it. Quit out of both of these. So I have this radar in the background that I did some stuff to it. It's just basically, this is just from Envato though. So I could do something like this with a radar, but it would be sort of a scope of a radar, because that's what the Doppler radar looks like. Which is why this is sort of doing like, this is the area we see, and it just updates after that. So we can add sort of an element in from there on here somewhere. But I need to figure out how it makes sense. Hit some buttons. Really, I guess the Doppler radar would come from this area, because it's like no, this is just the movement of the thing. This is showing where the radar is hitting. We're just gonna like go. We're just gonna be like super just weather channel. Let's check out the weather channel, baby, and see what it looks like. Okay. Whatever. Radar, right here. This is what I want. I want to see what the radar looks like. What does a realistic radar look like? No thanks. And it thinks I'm in Atlanta. Just fun fact. Which is great. See, it looks like this. This is more what it looks like. Does that look like what we have here? See, this is less abrasive. This is really gradient map-esque compared to this. So maybe the mosaic is too much. Why didn't that mosaic at all? Oh, it mosaic the one on the body. It did mosaic this one here. Mosaic. 25. 0. So the mosaic off looks like this. Does that look more like the weather than this? I don't know. I think we're nitpicking too much. Like if you look at like the live radar, it should like do this stuff. Is there a live radar we can watch? This looks like what we have. It's just stacks of color. And this one is very not pixelated at all. Just sort of what we have here. Off, on. I don't think this is a problem though. I think when you see this, you get the point that it's a storm. So that's it. Dan, we chatted about it a little bit. Nobody here wants the Chiefs to win, so we all want the Chiefs to lose. So we all want the Bills to win. We don't really care with the Commanders Eagles, but it'd be nice if the Commanders won just because. But that's where we're at. We're gonna use mosaic because I've been used to it in like 6 designs now. I just want to keep going with that. We have the NBA logo on here. We should do something with that. Put that up here. We should figure out how to put his name on here and do something with that. I think this looks stupid, so I'm gonna set this to overlay because I just think it looks better. Set this to overlay. Good. If I turn this off, good. All right. Let's go up here. Let's see if I can find the NBA All-Star. Is there a website for that? Is there a logo on it that I can steal? See, I want this logo here in this banner. But I don't have... Oh, this? Events. Oh, it's on Wiki. The 2025. This? Is this what we're looking at? Yes, yes it is. Thank you, Wikipedia. Fair use. Thanks, fair use. Hello, I would like to download the original file. This is not an SVG file. It's not going to matter, though. That didn't download at all. Download. 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 There we go. I just downloaded it about 3 times. Also logo. Hey, look, it's an actual logo. Okay, we have some logos. We have these things here. All right, let's add some more stuff to this. I drew this random line, but I think it looks nice. So I think I might keep it there. We're just going to make it this yellow color, and we're going to give it a path blur. Like this. It's not what I wanted at all. Tapered blur. I want this just to look like it's moving, you know? And really what this line does is it sort of shoots up here. It goes right into his face. So you look at his face. Just gonna jump this up to like more, tapered less. And we're gonna duplicate it again. So you see more. Tapered more. No tapered. No taper. Fast. And what happens if we duplicate that a couple times? I think we might have to blur the first one. Oh god, we don't want to blur it too much. It looks really... We want the blur gallery to be on all of it. We want the line to be noticeable, but we want it to be blurry. So this is too much. So we're going to taper it none, and we're going to blur it 15. Great, so that's where that's coming from. Let's see what this looks like. It looks like that. We've got some stuff going on here. You know, this is... We have things. There's some moments happening on here. Which is what we want. I know I have some lightning charges. Is this what I want? Yeah, I got some lightning stuff like this. So we can add some of these. I'm just going to toss these in here. Just dissipates, and then there's another one. I use these on stuff a decent amount of times because they're pretty nice. What is this? This is a beam of electricity. This is someone shooting a beam of electricity, which might have its place. I don't think it does on here, though. What is this? An electric... Oh, this is a weird rail. Who's it? What's it? I don't want that. I think that's all the electric stuff, essentially. Oh, what is this? Ah, here's just lightning. Sort of hitting things. This is kind of nice. We'll toss this in here. Sparks. General Sparks, always good. General Grievous. Oh, I guess these are in order. There, so it goes like this. Sort of sparks hitting the wall. But they're just nice little sparks that we can add to stuff. I think they're a little bit more realistic than those fatter ones. We don't want no fat sparks in here. We want some thin sparks. And then what is this? This is the same thing. No, this is just lightning that exists that we can do literally anything with because we have the Puppet Warp tool. So we're going to use this. Some lighter ones over here. We're going to toss this in here. Okay, we got a bunch of lightning now. Good. We're going to get rid of the big guys because we don't want those. We want these. But we want these to be probably orange, right? I want them to be this color. So what's the easiest way of doing that? Could we just go like this and just go like that and hit color? Oh, yeah. That's exactly what we want this to look like. Like, it's absolute... Oh, this isn't set to color. That's why. Oh, this needs to be set to normal. That needs to be set to color. This is kind of what we want it to look like. So I can kind of just do this. And go like that. There we go. All right, now we got some lightning that we can work with. I'm going to make all of these a lot bigger. Like this. And then just lazily convert these to smart objects. Instead of opening them up. Okay. So we got some electric stuff. So let's have some electricity climbing up his leg or something like that. Going up his arm, maybe. Like this. You know, I don't know where to put it. It's just electricity. Go like this. The good thing is we can always mask it to, or not to him. So we can give it a little bit of depth. And go like this. Fade it out a little bit so it goes like that. So it's kind of going behind him a little bit. I don't know if I like that. What is that one graphic we looked at? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yep, chapel round. That's what I wanted. Because I know people put a lightning on him all the time. Yeah, it's in the background. No. It's here. Like, I don't want to give him, like, Thor eyes, you know? Because I think that's too on the nose. I literally just need to go back on stream and be like, what did this graphic look like? Like this. A lot. This is better. Oh, Hassan made it, didn't he? Oh, it's right here. This is more just lighting with like drawn lightning bolts, which is nice. But how do we want? Do we want lightning coming from the ground? You know, do we want it down here? It's not down here. Do we want it down here? Around his feet? Do we set this to screen, which makes more sense? And then we rotate this like that because these are sort of hitting a wall. Like that looks kind of nice because there's a light reflection on it. I like that. Let's set all of these to screen just so they can see what they look like. I think just having these set to screen does a lot. I can just put these wherever I want. It just looks kind of okay. This is a lot of electricity. We're going to put this behind him. And sort of behind the ball like this. I think that's kind of what we want. It's the vibe we're going for here. This is just a line, which is good. This is not a line, though. This is some stuff. So to me, it's how do we just sort of have this, I don't know, lazily sit on top of him or around it? Do we just want it on his arm? Do we want his arm to be doing all this stuff and then maybe on his feet? I just think this looks really nice, how it is down there. Which one is that? Is this one? Let me move this over just a little bit like that. That's just a little bit of a spark. So there's spark where there's some action, you know? We don't need this as much. We can put this up here. So we've got behind, up on his arm. I think that's good. And then we just add little, you know, little hot spots. Little hot spots of electricity. You know, as it go around his arm. So just going up, just like parallel to him. You know, how is this lightning affecting? What is this doing? So we have this lightning, which is, I think, solid. But where do we want it? Because I don't want like a ton of lightning. I just want it to be a little bit of a, you know, motif. Maybe it's in the front like this. I think this is too much right here. Where's this at? This here? I don't like this at all, actually. Can we put this up there instead? I think that looks better. bottom, down, below. Okay, so then we can take this, we can put this on here, we can set this to screen, and then we can just sort of blur this up. Gaussian blur, 15, 15, should be fine. And let's just stereotypically put a street in San Francisco in the background. I really don't want to, but we're a little crunched on time. Are these actual photos? Hold on. The Chase Center. Yeah, I don't know. I just want the Chase Center exterior. Because he's on it. Do we want to, in order to contrast with his background, we want it to be theoretically nighttime, but it doesn't contrast with the background, because then the background would need to be like white or this. But then we can make different variations just to see what looks good. But I don't know if we have a good photo of the Chase Center at night. We could fix it and just make one, but I don't know if we have time. This isn't bad. This is the right angle. I just don't want it to be just like dog water quality, you know? We can go like this. Pump this up like that. It says Chase Center. We know where he is because he's going to the place with the stuff. Or you just make it San Francisco. I don't think it really matters. Okay, so let's go Lombard Street. I think had some nice photos. We just need it to be at the same angle. This is kind of the same. I'm just going to download this and just see what it looks like. Because that's the beauty. This is pretty decent. It's not, but it needs to be really low. A really low angle is really what I'm looking at, because he's at a really low angle. So if we put this here and put this here, we want to make it seem like he's on top of these bricks. Kind of like this. Like this works. Golden Gate is in the background. He's on some flowers. Do something where it's calm before the storm or something like that. Storm incoming. He's huge. What does this other photo look like? That's this one, right? What does this one look like? Worse. Can't see anything. This one you can at least see the bridge in the background. Or a bridge. There's a way we can have this break out of this. So if we duplicate this and go like this, and then go like this. Snow on bushes. Thank you, snow on bushes. This is a brush I made to draw snow on bushes. But I can also set to screen. I don't want to do that. And also have it so it has some organic bushes that come out of this artwork. How often do you draw snow on bushes? Once. It came in real handy. I'll pull up the file. I just wanted to name it so I could see what was going on. I have to find it because I do a lot of work for this client, sadly. Dang, where's this at? I don't do too much stuff. Oh, let me just search by really big files. It's going to open up in Photoshop Beta, though, because that's what it opens up in instead of this Photoshop. So I'll show you exactly where I drew snow on bushes. Because it comes in handy. Now I have a brush to draw snow on bushes. I drew snow on these bushes here. So let me turn all this off. Let me hide a bunch of stuff here. Hide. all of the filters, all of the snow, all of the Santa, all of the trees, snowmen, glasses. This is actually like somewhat organized. Wreaths are gone. Motion blur on the leaves. Lights are gone. Snow at the bottom is gone. Bushes, there you go. So this is bushed snow. So it's all of this here. This was all drawn on the bushes, so I can turn this off and on. Because they were just regular bushes during the daytime, like this. And then I drew snow on top of the bushes to make it look like snow on bushes. So that's why I have this brush called Snow on Bushes. So there. So we can have some of this come through. Is this what Shai's shoulder looks like? Yeah, that's fine. It's not even dedication to the bit. Like, that's exactly the reason I put snow on bushes. Let's do something else. So we have just sort of this background of Lombard Street, which is cool and fine. I think I want to tone it down a little bit like this. I don't really care what is up here, because we're just going to have like the Golden Gate Bridge come through here now. Golden Gate. I thought I cut one of these out already. I don't know if I cut it out, though. I've used the Golden Gate Bridge in two things. One of them was their tight end, Kitzel. One of them was in this graphic. Oh, I cut this out. Good. We're going to steal the Golden Gate Bridge from this file then, because it's already cut out. Hopefully it's not just masked Kittle, or I did something fancy with it. But we'll figure it out. Oh, and guess what? There's an encounter opening shape 74. And it's opening in Photoshop Beta because I told it to. Here's a fun fact. If you want something to not open, you can right click it and you can hit get information. And then you can go down here and say always open with Photoshop and hit change all and then hit continue. There. Now anytime I open up a Photoshop document, it's going to open up here. And this also had an issue opening up shape 74. See, looking at this graphic right now, I'm looking up here to like get a back view of it. I think everything's a little big. I usually, in terms of this white space question before, I kind of make things a little too large sometimes. So where is this bridge? I'm just going to copy this and just paste it over here and just see what this looks like. Cool. Okay, great. It's big old photo of a bridge. -100. Boom. Bridge is now right here. Congratulations. The bridge is cutting out of the inside of this shape. Yeah, it works really well. You have to do it for like EPS files. Like EPS files are usually just like, hey, we're just going to hang out and do whatever we want. You're going to have to just deal with wherever we decide to go. Okay, so I have the Golden Gate Bridge here. I want the top of the bridge to come off. So we're just going to use our snow brush because we have it. Because it doesn't matter. And then I don't know how I want this bridge to look. Because I don't know what these groups are. I just kind of like, you know, I made this graphic 4 years ago. So it's really just sort of an homage to, hey, the Golden Gate Bridge exists, but we know it doesn't exist in this aspect. It's just kind of right here. So it's just showing up right here. And, you know, there's this weird thing here. I don't know what this is. We can just remove this. I'm just going to go like this and remove whatever this weird crunchy area is. Probably just do this and just remove these lines, actually. I think for these, actually, yeah, you can see I just drew lines back in. These are just lines I drew. It's like when you draw in your own, like tennis lines on a racket. It's the same thing. Oops. See, why does that happen? That makes no sense to me, what just happened there. Do I want the bridge visible from both ends like this? Do I want this in the background? Yep, the Commander's game's in 5 minutes, so I'm streaming now. So people can watch me and then watch that. Because this is clearly more important, right? For the 12 of you, 10 of you now who are in here. Viewership dropped. Panic. Hurry up and figure out what you want to do, Brad. What happens if we flip this around? What happens if we flip this around? Does this look better? I think this looks better. We jut it up like this, and then we go like this. Paint back in, bridge, and this can just go over here. We delete this layer mask again. So this goes over there. Okay, so that's good. So this kind of hits here. This is just the bridge. Can we just do this? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's just sort of an element. It's just a design element I'm thinking too much on. Okay, let's do... I think we need to do, like, lighting on him, maybe? I don't know. Like, what does this look like with this turned off? I feel like this doesn't make any sense. So maybe we turn this on. What happens if we turn this off? We move this back up. We can see the actual bridge, which is kind of what we want. So we can just fake it. We just go like this. We just move this up. Then we just mask it like this. And put the palm tree over. Kind of like that. And then we just go, hey, this just magically changes. Like, I can't use gradients. I can't. I'm gonna quit out of Photoshop. Because it's just not letting me use gradients at all. So I don't know if this is really looking how I intended, but it's something. This is where I get sort of frustrated with stuff. Like, I didn't have... The idea I had going in was Doppler radar and this. Can I use gradients now? Hey, guy. Gradient. Why? See? Like, that is a huge issue. That I can't use a gradient. And it's not like I can reset my computer because I'm streaming. We can just kind of go like this, and then we've got this city in the background that we can use. Which looks better. And then we have this palm tree popping out instead of anything else. Oh, it's not just a palm tree though, it's a house. So maybe not. Okay. So we've got this here. We've got some stuff going on. I think we can do some lighting on his face quickly. And then fill in some of these other areas. Let's put the NBA All-Star Game logo, which is up here. This is just a file, though. So, like, I can't fix this. I can go like this, and then... put a gradient map on it for no reason and make it black and white. Like, I can do that. Invert that, take this, just crop this, drag this up here, then invert it. So then it says All-Star Week. Hooray, we did it. Yeah, but if I fill the color, it'll look like it's gonna fill this in, and then I can't do that down at the bottom. Does that make sense? I can't make it do that. It would just fill it. And then I can just group these together and do a logo. Alright, let's put some text on this, and then we'll do some more stuff to it in the next hour to finish it up. As a client, you're not allowed to invert the San Francisco Bay box. Correct, you're not. Good thing I don't care. Okay, so I don't like the colors of these bricks. So we're going to fix that with selective color. Yoink. Yoink. Colorful bricks. I have the Nick collection, which I just started using, but I mainly use Camera Raw when I edit my images. Oh yeah, that's nice. The main thing with Topaz and any of these is subtlety is important. You don't want to overcook things. Like I did some editing on this, and I keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it until I don't like it. Like the Nick collection here has like these HDR effects, and if you want to really cook up a graphic, you can cook up a graphic. Like let me open up this image of Shai. Why is it opening in Photoshop? Oh, it's a PSB file. It's not a PSD file, so it's technically different. So it's just gonna break and get really mad. Let me quit out of beta. So I usually use Camera Raw, but in here I used a neural filter because of this photo. But I use this Nick collection effect. But I have the effect set to like 30 or 40%. Let me hit cancel. I need to click here. Because you can change the opacity of layer styles. So I have it set to this blending option to 33%. If I set it to 100, it looks like this, which is too crunchy. This looks like a really bad commitment graphic. But if I set it to 33, if I turn this off and on, this was the original image. This is it. It really is just lightening it up and adding a little bit of contrast to it. So if you use Topaz, use it. Just use it in a way that you're not killing the image. That's what a lot of people do. A lot of people just go in there and they just crunch it up and make things look really bad. Okay, let's go to Pinterest. Because I like how this is nice white space and stuff. Hey, look, I made this. That's right. What was it? It's right. Oh, it's not there anymore. It's right here. It's on the side of my wall. Can I break this? It's over. It's over there on the ground. All right, good. Just ruined everything. Hopefully you guys don't have motion sickness. We need to put words on this. Like Shai. Shai is really nice because it's 4 letters, so we can probably have Shai spelled this way, going down here. Put something in here. I'm just going to type out the name Shai. And we're going to go to Adobe Fonts, and we're going to find a nice font to use on this. So I'm going to try and get this done in like the next 30 minutes, so then we can just do some critiques. But we might take a little bit of a break on this and do critiques just because I need to look at something other than this graphic because it's been 2 hours. We're just going to browse all. So if you want me to critique something, link it in chat if you can, or DM me on Instagram, and we'll take a look at it. And I know we already have one, and we'll look at that one first. That got shot over to me. Virgil, I've got yours. It's in Discord. We got now. Oh, this is when I was making that Coco graphic. When I had a much better idea of what I wanted to do. So I'm trying to find like an electric looking font. So to me, an electric font maybe would be futuristic. Width, I probably want something condensed with not a lot of course, I hit futuristic and it does that. I really want condensed fonts. Weight maybe in the middle. You want me to look on Envato? Okay, let me look on Envato. Lightning font. Please go to all. I don't like using Envato for fonts all the time because usually the fonts are like this. And it's just like, we put a thing at the bottom of it and made it look like this. Now this wouldn't look terrible, but this only probably works for Ultron. And all these people did was they just took a font and they just added lightning bolts to it. Or they displaced it and made it backwards. Like, this makes sense for like a comic book thing, but I'm trying to find... I like this. This is nice. Where is this? This Misfit. I mean, this works too. This font does. This Aviano Future, because it's sort of techie looking. That's sort of what we're doing. I think I want that Doppler on here. How can I add that easily? I don't know how to... No, that would work. Okay, let me try and make a Doppler effect real quick. It's not even the same thing at all. Like, the Doppler effect and this are two different things. It's just the Doppler radar. So we're going to start with a black circle. And then we're going to object path, offset path, 0.25. And then switch it. I think I set up a hotkey. Keyboard shortcuts. Off. I don't want tools. I want menu commands. I want object, path, offset path. That can't be, oh, that can't be used as a shortcut? Why? Okay. Okay, so I just set that up because it didn't have a hotkey, so I can just do this. This is just going to offset it. Instead of making it like 5% bigger, and you can't hit Command D because it doesn't work, so you have to just offset it each time. Just hitting buttons. And I don't know how many I need. I think I need more than this. This is all we're doing. There's probably a better way of doing this. I could probably blend it together in specific steps and then expand it. That would work, wouldn't it? But this works too. Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to take all of these and I want to throw them all to one side like this, which one makes a really cool shape. And then we're going to set this to 0.065. Move that over, unselect, move that over, unselect, move that over. Okay, it's not enough. Or that's too much, I think. 0.3. Okay, I think this should work for what I want. There might be a way to space this out better. I just know this is going to work. And I think this is how the Doppler effect works. Can I hit? Good. This is just going to Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D, oops, unselect Command D, unselect Command D, unselect Command D. So while I'm doing this, email me stuff, not email me, link in chat if you can, or DM me on Instagram if you want me to critique something. And we will do that after I am done recreating the Doppler effect in Illustrator. There's probably a way, and I kind of remember how to do it, but not off the top of my head, where I can align these, but align them all to be a specific part away. But I think I have to do this anyway. And my eyes are very... I'm getting very deceived right now with how this looks, because I'm just staring at lines. My eyes are just like... what is going on. Because I'm hyper focusing on these lines. Okay. Just save this onto my computer. Stop. Software. This is saving to a random post, random thing. So this is the Doppler effect, I think. So let's put this on here somewhere. Maybe it's in the background. All right, you DM'd me, great. I'll take a look at these in a minute. Let me see how I want to put these on here. Doppler effect coming from the ball. If you're in Dan's Discord, you can just DM me. That works too. I just had someone DM me because they had already talked to me on Discord before. But it doesn't really matter. Let's tilt this up like this at a 45-degree angle and put it not at 45. Let's do this. Where is Bull? Bull is there. Okay. So we have our Doppler effect now as a pattern in the background. I think I might just want to get rid of this. We still have San Francisco in here, which is cool. Then we have this in the background. Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. I just say it wrong every single time. So OTF, I guess. I don't know. Install this. It's called Misfit or something. Let's see if that loaded yet. Misfit. Hey, it did. Okay, we saved that. It's like gorgeous, but Gilgeous. So it's just gorgeous, Gilgeous. Okay, got it. All right, we're gonna open this in browser. So this is what someone sent me before. Let's pull up the critiques real quick, and then we'll take a look at those just because. I think I might actually want you to message me on Twitter. Because Instagram has been like real crappy with how things go. Every time the Pacers post a graphic like this, and they don't have me make it, I get irrationally upset. Like, why can't you just have me make this instead of other people? But for the critique, yeah, message me on LinkedIn. And a guy who works at Kentucky's happy we're doing a Shai graphic because he works at Kentucky. All right. I need you to send me one specific thing you want me to look at. For the critique, message me on Twitter or Instagram. Twitter's probably better just because the quality. So send me the graphic if you've posted it on there, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, first one though is we're looking at this. Okay, so this is a Ravens manipulation of number 53. If you want to go to my LinkedIn, you can go to my LinkedIn, but you don't need to message me on LinkedIn. But if you want to add me on LinkedIn, you can add me on LinkedIn. You can't search Bradley Jack Design though, can you? Yeah, if you search Bradley Jack Design, I'm the first guy that pops up. But that's me. 53 Ravens player. Just want to see who this is. Oh, Kyle Van Noy. Okay. Of New England Patriots fame in my brain. Quit out of some stuff. Okay, cool. All right, let me zoom in. Let me download this, and we'll actually drop this into Photoshop. And I think that's why I want you to sort of message me on Twitter, because when you message me on Twitter, I can download the image and drop it into Photoshop, and I can't do that as well on Instagram. I can do it, it's just kind of annoying. let me just pull a couple off of here. In chat, you guys tell me what you think about this design, the first one on here. And we can go off of that. Okay, we got that one. We got some stuff. Shoot, let me grab a chat. So, Mike, send me what you want me to critique specifically. Yeah, the reason I opened this up in Photoshop is just to see what the aspect ratio is. So it's 1:1. I would have made it 4:5 just because that's sort of the best thing you can do for Instagram. Like, that's the Instagram side. That's why we're making this in a 4:5 ratio. It would just give you more room at the bottom then, because you don't have equal room here, which is fine, but like, seems like I just want it to not, I want him either to be up so there's equal room, or I want it to be a 4:5 ratio. I mean, other than that, like, the composition as a whole comes together pretty decently. Like, you got him cut out pretty solid. The ravens in the background kind of match. The perspective matches what's going on. I would say, so I think on some of this, so like, let me grab a brush. Just draw on this. Okay, so it seems like on the player image itself, like this part is a little blurrier just because of the photo. But then if you look back here, like, this isn't really blurry. This is kind of crispy still, but it's super far in the back. And like, this raven is good, but then these are blurry, but it doesn't match the blurriness here. So I think what I would have done is probably just done a little bit more of a blur back here. You've got these objects in the front which are blurring, and you have this as sort of the middle ground, but it's still so far behind him on blurriness. I think having this blurred, if you had some of these somewhat blurred and progressively blurred them more in the back, I think it might have been, it would sell this a little bit better. But like, the main thing, I agree with Chris on this, is it seems really low compositionally. Like, you've got all this room up here where I accidentally drew this line. But like, this is just room. This is just where stuff is. So bump this up, and you might be limited with what's down here. But if it's going to be a square, make it dead center. If it's not, you can add some other stuff around it. But the lighting you did on this looks good. I mean, it looks like it's part of one piece. I mean, I would be pretty happy if I started with something like this and made it. Also, it's probably just the image, but like, this waterfall is kind of weird. I don't know why. It's like kind of like dark here, but like not here. But then like, these should be lighter highlights technically. Like, these are kind of light. These aren't pure white. It just seems like it should be lighter. Because this is super bright in the background because it's a light source. And that should be reflecting sort of equally off of this because it's water. If that makes sense. So that's one thing, Virgil, that I would figure out with that. Yeah, it's color matched well. Like, it fits together. Overall, it's a pretty solid graphic. If I gave this to a client as a graphic and they requested something that looked like this, they'd probably like it. Okay, let me grab a couple more of these. Okay, I got a couple. I think there's like 3 more on here. We'll do these 3 and then we'll get back to work. And hopefully something clicks this and we finalize this. All right, some of these are a little small just because of how Instagram allowed me to pull them, which is why Twitter's better. But so here's a, I don't know who people are now in tennis sort of thing. This is a Carlos Alcaraz graphic. Quality's bad just because I pulled it like a 4x600, so it looks better, I'm sure, on Instagram. Which is good. Let me pull this up too. Got another edition. Okay. So let me think of this. Lighting on it seems pretty decent. Probably could go a little less heavy-handed in some areas. Just sort of personal preference. Like, this where's this blue lighting coming from? Like, is it coming from this? Or is it, there's like a random light here because it's not blue here. It's yellow here. I can draw. So like this, I probably wouldn't put color on because this is just going to hit color here. But if it put color here, it's not going to go on the left side. It's going to go down here and sort of color the whole thing, but not a lot because it's a small light source. Like, is this then lighting this area here? It's hard to see. I can get how this whole thing is lighting and maybe just go with that single source and just have some of this other stuff glowing. So I think this is a little heavy-handed down here. It's better here. This better blends in. This blends in decently, but just lighter handed. Turn down the flow and opacity when you're painting these back in. When I look at this in terms of, I don't want to save this. I'm going to delete this. Oh, I didn't make a new layer. Okay. In terms of composition, okay, here's what I really like about this. I like this going on. I like these shapes you're using and the contrast you have in the shapes. Nice room lights, but the biggest room for movement is actually lighting the things within the silhouettes. Like his nose looks like he snorted just some sort of neon cocaine. I don't think you need this guy here because it's sort of a goofy photo if you look at his face. So a client even would probably be like, what's going on with that? And you don't have any racket lines. Get them racket lines in there. Figure it out. For me, compositionally, you've got sort of big, little, littler. You have littlest, which is good. I think what I would do is get rid of this guy, make this guy a little bit smaller, and then you have room to make this bigger, and this maybe stay the same size. And then right here, this is where I was talking a little bit about white space, is you have, his head probably goes up to like here. So you have like 2 inches off of his head. Cut off his head like a lot or put it inside this. So then you have his head starts here and then you got his chin over here and whatever. And this is Carlos. Smiley face here. So give padding there with some white space. But the background, the colors are nice. I think the shading here, like this is colored well for, like this stuff down here is nice. The bottom. I would just go lighter and more subtle with the lighting on it. And I would get rid of this guy. I just like threes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's a triangle. With this, you're sort of like, you go like this, and you look at these 3 guys, and you go, oh, there's a little guy over here, and you go, okay, I'm going back here. Oh, there's a little guy over here, and you kind of remember it that way. How I know we did. All right, we're going to go in order. There's another one. Boxing. And Fury retired now, right? So with this to me doesn't scream as believable. Like, I don't know, it seems like he's squished into this face. Like, I don't know if this was a photo of something. I would want to see what these original photos looked like. But some of this stuff doesn't make sense in terms of tonality either. So like, this is really dark. Like these eyes are really dark, which are like complete black. But if this is complete black, theoretically, these would be lighter. These wouldn't be so dark. Like my eyes just go here and go, why are these so dark when nothing else is that dark? So it just seems kind of weird to me. I get what you're doing with the record and stuff. I'd probably tone these lines down a little bit, thin them up. This background image, I think, works with this spooky stuff in the background. This is really intense lighting on the front. And technically, like, if you have all this intense light on the front, you're not going to be able to see his face. His face isn't going to light up like this, especially with the eyeballs. His eyes aren't going to light up like this because there's no front source of lighting. Everything's lit from the back. So this would all be super dark. So in that case, you'd have to lighten everything up to make it so these aren't the only light source in the images. And the text down here, this is just okay. This is sort of generic Helvetica looking font, and this is sort of fine because you do anything more dynamic here with text. Maybe the 2's bigger, and then it's their names here. So it's showcasing 2. Can you add any effects to that? Stuff like that. Is there an overlay you can put on this to really sell that this is recording? You know, sort of a digital pattern overlay or something like that. These are questions I would ask and am asking. All right, we got 2 more, and then we're gonna hopefully finish off this design and be happy with something to post. Okay, so Commanders, Eagles. Yes, those are the teams that are playing. I'm like, these aren't the right teams, but they're the right teams. So the quality's not great just because it's Instagram. There's a lot going on. So like, I don't know where I'm supposed to look. It's sort of an overall poster, right? Like it's just a big poster. Here's where I would pay attention to white space. I would probably add, like, I would look around, like, the white space up here is not too bad. Maybe make everything a little bit smaller. Figure out who you want the hierarchy to be. And I'm trying to think of if I have something like this somewhere that I can see what I did. And I know I do. And I want to see if I did something the same and if I'm going to eat my words. Sunday Night Football, I think. Yeah, so I made these for the Super Bowl champions, but these main focus down here was Super Bowl champions and then equal spacing, but it didn't have both of them on it. But like this, so like for these, big player, 4 guys in the background, big player, 4 guys in the background. If we look here, we kind of have big player, but you've got the 2 running backs in the front that really take shape because they're in the front of this sort of explosion of stuff. Work on feet shadows. These seem too generic. I would make everything a little bit smaller. You know, you've got this nice white space on this side, but you don't over here just because of the photo of Jaden Daniels. So try and mirror it, make it symmetrical in that aspect. The NFL logo up here looks just like, to me, too close. Subject separation, contrast helps. Yeah, I don't know where I'm supposed to look, really. Because everything is commanding the same amount of attention. And then some of this other stuff in the background just sort of gets lost. If you're going to put... And then it looks like you just threw these on here. Like, you threw this on here, just snuck it in the corner. Snuck the signature in the corner. I'd probably make the NFL logo bigger and more apparent. And not have it so close to the edge. To me, it's nervously close to the edge. These are nervously close to the edge. Which is why I always give things padding. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the splatter effect look like this. It's just a stylistic thing that I just don't care for. It just seems it dates something, I guess I would say, because this was like really trendy, like 2019. I don't like using generic splattery things in terms of graphic unless I'm making the graphic look explicitly look like it's a watercolor. And then the only last thing really is like you've got the tonality pretty good with all of the jersey colors, which is good. And then these are all pretty good except for what, Brian Robinson in the front. Maybe lighten his jersey up a little bit so it looks like this. Chris, you think the comp's nice except for maybe being too against the edge, right? Just needs to improve readability by separating the silhouettes and guiding the eye. Yeah. So always have intention with where you want people to look. If I say, if you show this to me, or if I show this to you and I say, what do you want me to see first? I don't know what your answer is. Probably the quarterbacks, but I feel like I see these guys first in the front because they're actually grounded. So you might want to make just these guys all smaller, these guys bigger. Think of it like that for the future. Like I do an okay job of this, but you really see player in front, player in the back, player in the front, players in the back. For all these divisional winners. Oh, the good old days when the Phillip Rivers was on the Colts and they won the AFC South. And then when Alex Smith played for the Commanders. Yeah, so that's what I would do on here. All right, then Jesse wants me to take a look at this portfolio, this content. Words, a lot of words. I'm just going to skip over these. So this is stuff you made. So to me, it's hard to know without seeing what the brand guides are. It's hard to figure out, in some aspects, what I like and don't like. Some of it's out of your control. There's a lot of stuff here. I'm just going to look at some of this stuff up here. Like, I'm just going to look at this social media content here. So, like, there's a lot of stuff going on with fonts here. You've got this font here, then you've got a different font here, then you've got different fonts here. This isn't following the same line as Newell here. Got some randomly blurred objects here. Work on your feet shadows, which you might already be working on. Dean Davies is a good shadow pack you can download of brushes. I think this is aligned well. Some of this is like awkwardly close to the edge. Can you stack these on top and just give it a little bit more breathing room? You know, green on red is this you know, gets really Christmassy really fast, but that's the colors of the team. So you kind of can't help with that. But like readability, this isn't great. You've got random autographed baseballs in here, I guess. I would avoid using generic default effects. Like this looks like just like a generic default bevel emboss. Why? If you want contrast, tweak the background so you can read it better. Like moved on up, you can read this better than you can read this. So fix the background more than you fix the text. Like this is all just white on top of a dark background. You can read it. It's a little clunky, but you can read it. Just breathing room on the edges is usually what I'm going to suggest. You know, these read a lot better because you're using Dodgers colors, part of it. And some of this stuff's getting progressively better from like, it's getting better down here. Like these are nice. I don't think we need the blurred logos. I love blurred logos. I don't think they're needed here. I think just like a simple logo at the bottom or in the corner would work well. Because this is kind of taking up a lot of space for how many days are left. It works a little bit better here, but it's covering up what your main thing is that you're reading. So maybe get rid of that. We're going to go off of that just because we want to get back to this graphic that we've been inspired now by what you guys have been doing. So, and I'm probably going to get a message from someone else. And his name's Chris. And Chris wants me to talk about this Lake Como stuff I think I've seen before. We're not going to finish this graphic, but that's fine. Right, I remember you made this logo. I'm trying to think of this in terms of what I would see from a client in terms of a brand standard. Like these matchup graphics, I feel like all have to look like this, but it's nice. You're using it. I like this font you're using, really. This is good. I like this. I'd probably tighten up Como versus Inter myself, but that's super personable preference. I think what you're doing is a lot of what you're going to see, and I told this to someone last year, a lot of focus on imagery with text on top of it, like this here, 1-1 halftime. Something you can crank out very quickly but efficiently. I think this kickoff graphic looks a little bit better. I'm assuming is this player of the month? Maybe? POTM, I'm guessing what that is. Maybe if this is, have it somewhere else. So you have this as just sort of textural elements that you don't really care that you can read it or not. And then you have it listed somewhere else. The halftime score is weird just because like 2 versus 0 looks better than 1 versus 1. So how can you make it work with any photo too? And do you want it to work with any photo? This could work with any photo. You say, okay, guy at stadium or girl at stadium, person taking photo, make sure you get a shot that fits this, where the focus is at the bottom. Kickoff, same thing, focus at the bottom. Mask a player image in here, studio shots of people sitting, cool photos around the city or whatever for this. Match day could be pretty similar to low, shallow angle. So it's sort of like, as long, that's the issue too. I completely understand with this, Chris. I think you being able to communicate those things that I just said help you out in the long run, explaining how it would work. Because like you and I are limited on photos. Like we can't go and just make 15 match day photos because we don't have photos at this exact angle. If you tell someone, hey, take a photo real quick, we're gonna do match day, we can do this, or take a photo of the fans like this so we can do a kickoff, it would benefit to actually have photographers on hand to do things. Okay, so let's finish this off. So let's put Shai in this misfit text. I would say one of the more important things, why is this just not working? To know in design, or to a strength in design, is being able to talk about your work. Why did you do something? Can you explain it? Can you defend why you made a specific decision? And if you can do that, you should be pretty good. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing right now. You know, I'm just kind of doing things because I'm like, I don't know what we're doing anymore with this graphic. It's been like 2.5 hours. I'm just like, we're doing things. We're just messing around in Photoshop. What is a really condensed font? B4. Is that gonna look good? I kind of want his name down below. Maybe we have it here, set below, and then we kind of do this. Maybe we'll make it less. Let's just hit some default buttons. Let's use Druck just because we can. So we're feeling lazy. Druck or tungsten? Tungsten. Let's just use tungsten. Semi-bold. Make it smaller. I like the eye in this because it's just a straight line, so we can really do something with that. So we can have it say Shai down here. I'm trying not to invade this area too much, but I'm still trying to make this, fill up this area, because we're going to have his name at the bottom here. Not masked. Not masked, I said. Let's put that in that Misfits font, just because we can. I don't think it works as well as I thought it would. We're sort of just signing it with his last name. Like this. And then do we have it contained? Do we have it break out? Those are the questions I'm thinking in my mind. You know, we just have it super contained like this, or not. There's just movement, 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 and then stop and subtle, which stopped right here, which does not bode well in my mind. Okay. Deep breaths. We'll figure it out. And that's the thing I talked about, or I brought up on LinkedIn, like, the design process is important. Brainstorming, stuff like that. I like most of what's going on here. It's just sort of however you want to add the text. You know, I don't want to just put his name on here in sort of a tilted font. Like, part of doing design is just adding different like functionality and like tools to your belt to know how to do something. Like, I know I can just use Dharma Gothic italic like this, and it says Shai, and it looks cool and it looks nice because that's what this font's for. And I can set it to like exclusion or difference and like do weird things with it, or just set it to normal. I can have it say Shai, and then we've got his name underneath it, written weird. Maybe we have it, you know, written out like this on top of it in this, you know, yellow font. Yeah, in case of emergency, break glass and use Druck. I do that with, it's Dharma Gothic for me. In case of emergency, just use Dharma Gothic. It's fine. Dharma Gothic's the GOAT. Tilt it a little bit. No one will know. Our little secret. I need to do this. You know, does it just say Shai? Does it say Shai Storm? Sunday, or a Shai Storm warning or something like that. Like thunderstorm. What is a storm warning? No, we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that here for a second. Weather channel. Severe storm warning. What does that look like? Like this. See, we've got these lines. Severe thunderstorm warning. So it'd be severe Shai storm warning, which is really stupid. But maybe Dan's fun pal will think of, maybe DeepSeek will think of something better. Give me a good alliteration using Shai and thunderstorm warnings. I don't know if my keyboard just head out. There we go. Thunderstorm warnings. That's 2 to 4 words. This is how I use AI. It's going to say Shai storm warning first. Nope. Give me 18 more that are better. Here are 18 more. Thundering Shai, supercell sign, Shai, cyclones, tempest. Dan, according to Design with Dan, DeepSeek is better than ChatGPT based off of a grid with lists, numbers, a graph with numbers on it. Does he have a nickname? Shai's nickname, Gilgeous-Alexander. We'll figure out what I'm talking about. SGA, which makes sense. Can we do something with SGA? Use SGA to make same pun with weather and storm. I might get to spell things right and see how well this works. Storm guidance alert is not a bad idea. Storm guidance alert? That's not bad, right? SGA. It really likes the word gusts. Something arriving? Storm gusts arriving? Storm gust advisory? Star, all-star, steer. I don't know. My brain's not working right now. When is the All-Star game? When's the All-Star week? All-Star week. Maybe we finish this up next week, you know? We got another week to work on this. Maybe we do that. What do you guys think? I think we're in a good spot with certain stuff, but like, what do we do up here? There's more we can do with the background. It's been 2.5 hours. My brain's a little fried. I don't know. Let's go to Pinterest real quick. Let's just look. Yeah, see what Ethan does. Just go off of Ethan. Just get mad. I'm really just trying to think of a cool way to put his name on here. Like, the thing with Shai is like... Because I think this is a good start for something. You know, even getting rid of this logo up here. The logo. Like this. This is a good start. Right? What can we add up here just to add stuff to this to glue things together? Let's grab a selective color. do -10 and 10 to add a little bit of pizzazz there. Yeah, I was kind of thinking something in that effect of what does a notification look like for a severe thunderstorm warning? Maybe we steal what Dan had on his thing. Maybe this is like on a phone or something, or on a screen. We're just boosting the colors of everything by... You know, what if we really did something like this, you know, where we really tweak the color on it? It's the opposite of magenta. It's green. Off on, off on. Whatever. Okay, oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Notification for bad weather. iPhone. Wow, I don't need to spell. I just want an image. I want this. Okay. Where's this icon? What? Weather app. Nope. I want weather app icon. Great. This is exactly what I want. And save image to downloads. Okay, so we're gonna remake this real quick because we can't. And should. Yoink. Yoink. Make this white. Make this 0. This is gonna be sort of like one of those graphics where people make something like tweets. Where it's like, oh, it's a Twitter graphic. It's a graphic with tweets on it, but it's a graphic with a weather alert on it instead. Should probably make it from like the NBA logo, the NBA alert, but instead of this, but it's fine. So then we just can add some text to this that says something. We can just use DeepSeek and it'll just tell us, right? I don't know. Okay, so we need this to say time sensitive. Apple uses their own rudimentary font, so we're going to use Roboto because I think it's good enough. Chris, do you have any specific, or does anyone have a specific font they think that people use? Like, I was trying to figure out what does Twitter use for their font. I think it's Roboto. I need to make this bolder though. Medium. Yeah, medium's probably good. I don't want to do semi-bold. Time sensitive. Severe weather. Severe weather. This is gonna be white. Do I have caps lock turned on? I just have it turned on here. Yeah, I knew Twitter used to. Twitter had a proprietary font, but it's like if you don't have it on your computer, it's not going to show up, kind of thing. Severe weather, man, I just can't. Just doesn't look like anything's typing right. Let's make this bold, larger. Oh, you know, because you have it. Near San Francisco. We put this down here, but then we have this match this. Put this back down to medium. And then this is just what our warning is going to be. So it's going to be severe gust alert. No, severe Shai storm warning until no warning. Warning. And then it's February think I want this to be medium, but I don't think I do. What happens if I turn this on? So this is what our warning looks like. I think I want this to be regular. Is that what that looks like? This is now. It's not in caps either, is it? No, it's not. It's not aggressive. There, so we can grab this. I hate that so much. So then we can do something with this. Yeah, good idea. Good. Thank you, Chris. We can have this. We want this down here. Where do we want to put this now? I guess we can put it like right here. Does that make sense? We'll make this like 80%. 90%. Yeah, up top. Warning. I want it to be part of the composition. I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want it to look like it's added in last minute. So that's why, like, it fits here, kind of fits in front of Shai too. Oh yeah, I mean, like, up here would pop up as a notification. Yeah, or up here would pop up as a notification. I just feel like I want it to fit in a little bit. Like, if I put it here, see what I mean? So it fits in with it. National Weather Service warning icons. New forecast at a glance icons. This is awful. This is awful. This is terrible. All hazards logo information. And with the actual logos, though. Hold on. Let's go to art.org. Escape out of this. Storm warning. I love using archive.org. Yeah, there's got to be something from, like, I mean, there's this Nazi book. We can use the cover of this Nazi book that says storm warning. It's really just like a block font, though. Jesus, Jack Higgins. Dude wrote a lot of book about fighting Nazis, it seems. Hello, I would like stuff before 1980, please. And I would like text. 1980. That took off like nothing. I think I want like 1950. Johnny and the Hurricanes. A skibidi beep bop ba doo ba doo boo. I want texts. Yeah, this is what I want. I want a newspaper article. Like, this is cool. What is this? Look, stuff. Look, a radar. Like, we can put this on something. I don't know. This is cool. Can we read it? No, but it's texture. Like, we can go here and just be like, oops, I don't want that. We can go here and just be like, hey, look. There's a NASA seal now on this for no reason. That's right here in the receive department. I don't know. It just looks cool. Just put this behind Shai or something. It's just texture. Doesn't matter what it is. I can't read it. Can you read it? Nope. But it looks cool. Same thing with the same with these guys. Like this big old this thing. I don't think we're gonna be able to use this because we sort of already have all this stuff going on. But if we set this to overlay and set it to like, I don't like that. That's fine. Let's go back here. Yeah, storm warnings is just going to be. Let me search the word storm. What's always good to find on here is old video game stuff because they used storm stuff a lot. I want texts. I don't want images. Storm is good because it's so big. Look, it's the Seattle Storm guys. So if you want that, put the Seattle Storm logos on here. Get a little bit of WNBA action going in here. Search before 1970 and see what pops up. Like, this is cool. Storm. A novel by George R. Stewart. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to, you can kind of just download this, but we're going to go to the source and find out where, oh, it's Mickey. That's fun. Storm. And we'll just grab this, put it up here, paste it, see how big it is, see if we can fix it. I don't know if we can. Oh, great. Just doing weird stuff at the top now. I don't know if I can change it. Yeah, I can't. So I can just go in here. You can't see it. I'm just downloading this image. It's fine. Okay. It's because it's bugging out. Alright, so we have this big word storm now, which looks really cool. We can have behind Shai, but in front of other stuff. Right? Storm. Do we use channels mixers maybe to just do this? Probably be easiest. Duplicate channel, yep. Let's just do calculations. It'll just be easier and just overlay this. So I do screen. I'm doing this a really stupid way. I mean, I can probably just grab the text and just cut it out. We're using channels because we can. Edit. What am I doing? Image adjustments. Levels. I didn't even want levels. I wanted curve. Levels works though. Alright, so we'll take this. Go back here. Mask it out. A little background behind it. Move over because my mic's in the way. Just go like this. Copy. Put into a group and then you can group it together. And there we have the word storm. Which looks really nice. This is the word storm. We'll just give it a color overlay of white. I wanted to say Shai Storm, but we don't have the font for it to say Shai. I think we can fake it though. I think I can go like this. Grab this. And then we just need a font that looks sort of like that. It's kind of like Wisdom Script, but not really. So maybe that'll work. Just type out I. Just get real kawaii with it. Wisdom. Wisdom? Don't I have Wisdom Script? Wisdom. Oh, cool. I just want a script font that looks the same. So if Photoshop could find that for me very quickly, that would be nice. I'm mainly looking at that R. But I mean, this kind of works. Right? I mean, that's close. I just need to Gaussian blur this like 0.5. They also think it's food. I know what you mean. Shai Storm. I don't know. Yeah, and then we can move this box up a little bit. Let's put that logo back up. Let's turn the logo back on. Do I want that logo here or do I want it down here? Or do I want it over here? I think I want it down here in the corner. Alright, we're going to try and wrap this up soon. Put this here, make this a little bit larger. We want Shai Storm to be... trying to name stuff. It's like, nah, you're not allowed. Yeah, the notification's staying. I just gotta figure out where it goes now. Like, now I might put it up here a little bit more, you know, like you guys were saying. Maybe we can make the thunderstorm. I guess that doesn't matter. It's just like lighting doesn't really matter. I can make this a little bit bigger. I just like the idea of it like this. Then the logo down there in the bottom, but maybe I'd take the logo and we maybe just put it up here at the top. From OKC. Shai Storm from Oklahoma. I don't know. Get rid of this photo of McConaughey, or not McConaughey. I kind of want this to be behind him. I kind of want this to be like this. Or maybe not. Shai Storm just doesn't seem intimidating. And the S's look exactly the same, but I guess that's fine. We make Shai Storm.
I don't know who Jay Cutler is.
Hey, thank you for subscribing. I love when that procs on stream because I always forget about it. And then someone hops in and does it, and I go, oh, good. I don't even know who Jay Cutler is. Shout out to Schmidt. Ah, it doesn't work well on this one, does it? Alright, what do you think? What are we thinking? We're on this new spot where, like, it's been 3 hours. I'm trying not to kill myself on this. This is all working well. It's really just this. And this logo. And maybe some stuff here, you know. We take... We can hide that, because that doesn't matter. Is that the main logo? Yeah, okay. We're going to take this. Put it just behind him. We're going to not do anything, apparently. Yeah, we should revisit this after break. Yeah, it's not done. We're not to a point where we're satisfied. Just hitting buttons now. So I think where we're at, I think we're going to stop for now. We'll revisit this next week. Next Sunday and finish it off because we've got 2 weeks before this. So, all right, I'm going to call it here. If you want to look back and see how we made this so far, good. We're going to come back and probably do some lighting on this. Add in some stuff. I know you already got him cut out and edited, but do you think if you get a picture of him in the All-Star jersey, you'd look at it? Yeah. I didn't think of what I really wanted to do. But no, I just wanted to do the Thunder jersey. We'll just say it's an homage to when they used to wear their own jerseys. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me. We'll kick back again maybe this week sometime, but probably not. Probably next Sunday again, same time, same bat channel. If you guys like this content, let me know. We'll pick it back up next week with fresh eyes. I'll pull some inspiration and see what we can do now that I know we have a pretty solid spot. But it's been a decent 3 hours on this. We've got some interesting stuff because we're trying to reinvent the wheel every single time. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, it helps my channel if you like and subscribe. So I'm going to be a stereotypical YouTuber and say that. If you guys have any suggestions for tutorials, or if you guys want me to critique some stuff next week, just stick around. And I'll see you guys then. Until then, you guys have a lovely rest of your Sunday. Go Bills. Go Commanders.